Hello, everybody, and welcome to TableTakes. And here we have a slew of wonderful people joining me today. We got Noir, Javion, and Peter here. Let's go ahead and have an update. What have you guys? It's been a hot minute since I've seen your faces. So let's go ahead, Javion. What has your beautiful sunshine array been blessing for this past, I would say 3 weeks, right? Or a month?
Yeah. I took a little trip to Minnesota with all the extra time I had. I went to the ER this week. Yeah.
Oh,
I had acid reflux.
Ooh. Are you going to have to change your diet?
Yeah, I'm going to have to stop eating super greasy foods, which is like the only things I eat. I have to just eat like salad or something now.
Oh, it's okay. It's all right. You'll get through it. I had to give up dairy.
Oh no!
I did. It's terrible. Gosh darn genetics.
I'm better now, though. Everything's much better now.
I'm glad you're feeling. Yeah, of course. What about you, Noir? Stop. You're just so spicy. I just need to know what the Flavor Town is bringing.
Not too terribly much is going on with me this week. I started a new job. We'll actually be reporting on it a little bit later today. I work with Evil Genius Games. Very excited. Other than that, no, not too much.
All right. Cool. And then, of course, last but not least, Peter Adkison, you're the new fresh face in this channel. Let everybody know about you. What do you got? What's the spiel? What's the dish?
Thank you. I'm the first level character who just joined the party. Everybody else is higher level than me. I got to stay in the back and try to learn the moves and get used to being on TableTakes. So I'm very excited to be here. And what have I been doing the past 2 weeks? Well, I've been diving into planning Gen Con TV's futures, which I'm now responsible for. And so I'm very excited about that. And so, in fact, I think that's our first news item today, isn't it? I can just transition right into the news.
Just punch right through. Go ahead.
Right. Gen Con TV is back. And of course, our first show coming back is TableTakes, because this is the crown jewel of Gen Con TV Twitch channel. But we have other things going on. So the Brothers Murph will be back. Board Games with the Brothers Murph will be back starting on Monday, the 28th of February. And we have some other shows. Unfortunately, This Game Gets Dicey will not be coming back. Sorry to say, we will miss them terribly on the channel. But we have a lot of other shows that we have in the works. My vision for this channel is that we just need more content on the channel. I mean, for this channel, I think to really start doing well and reaching its potential is we want to have more content happening. There should be shows every day, and especially during the primetime hours from 4 to 8 Pacific time. And so what kind of shows do we want? So the way I think of it is I like to imagine myself walking around Gen Con Indy. In fact, yes, I often like to imagine myself doing that. And it's because I love Gen Con, of course. And what are the types of things that we would see in Indianapolis? Well, I think the channel, I like to take inspiration from that. So we're working on things obviously lots of gaming, people playing games. That's probably the thing that we'll do the most. But also interested in having, say, miniatures painting, or something with authors, or something with artists, or something with cosplay. Basically, the types of things that are important to Gen Con culture and have been, gaming and gaming adjacent for decades at Gen Con. That's what we hope to accomplish, and all while upholding Gen Con standards of diversity and inclusiveness. Those are very important to us. And yeah, that's about it. Did that answer your question, Banzai? What I've been up to?
Yes, that does. It sounds like you have been having your plate quite filled, very, very filled, in fact. But no, that's just exciting. We obviously, you have to tune in onto the Gen Con Twitter if you haven't, if you want to hear more of the shows, because we can't say yet what other shows are going to be on, but there is going to be more to this pot that we are adding into the Gen Con-verse. I like to call this Gen Con-verse.
I like that.
Yeah, there you go. You can take that. I will allow you to use Gen Con-verse for this streaming.
I think it would fall under as a derivative work in the fair use laws. I think would allow us to do that.
We're also getting in chat. They would like foam sword combat to be one of the foam sword content, please. We want all battles all the time. Let's go ahead and jump onto more exciting news, especially news of companies that have been thriving. Of course, lots of things have been on up and down between the pandemic, the world, just put it in general. But we're going to go ahead.
Banzai, what about you? What have you been up to?
Oh, what I've been up to. Oh, sorry. I totally glossed over. I've been spending way too much money on brickheads and way too much money on comic books. I just got into I Hate Fairy Tale Land as a comic book series. Great series if you just want to have a character of fairy tales and rainbows and murder. Lots of fairy tale rainbows and murder. So if you're into that, you would probably love that. Also, Brickheads knows who they're marketing to because they're gosh darn coming out with a Spice Girls figurine collection case. So you get all the Spice Girls. That's awesome. That is, yes. Now I just need to have a whole D&D set so I could have a campaign of Brickheads folks in Lego figurines, and that would make me the happiest. But yeah, moving on course towards those news of companies that have thrived during the pandemic. So one of those, let's go ahead and start off with one of the companies being, of course, Tabletop Games, just basically setting new records for Kickstarter constantly. I think in this, they were saying that over 3,500 tabletop game projects were funded on Kickstarter in 2021, just this year, over 3,500 games. Geez, that is a lot of a lot of hands that are basically being able to produce games and bringing their ideas to this. Of course, Kickstarter started, reached last year, just reached $237 million. And then in this year, they're hitting about $272 million and basically have been growing since 2015. We could go on to the numbers and all kinds of stuff, but I'm sure people are just going to buzz over that. So mostly it's just all of this report. If you want to go ahead and leave it to read it for yourself, it's all going to be posted in the chat links. What is it? It basically was made by Thomas Bedeau, if I pronounce that name correctly. It made this report just going over the comprehensive guide. So if you're a nerd for number crunching and want to see the hard data, what it has for Kickstarter, this is your chance for you to go ahead and just read up on that. I'm also doubling in that news, just kind of like combine all that news with exciting things coming to Roll20. Also, hey, did you guys know that 2020 just doubled in basically Roll20 saw twice the number of users during this time? It's crazy.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because it makes sense. Yeah, because if you're in a society or in an area where you have a lot of people who want to play games with each other, can't be with each other physically, you got this digital set to like connect to people even from far away. And as the new CEO of Roll20 has stated, Ankit, I think I'm pronouncing that wrong. Ankit Law, formerly of Google, has basically taken the reins and announced new features for Roll20. Just kind of going on there. They're going to be bringing dark mode, which I love dark mode. I'm dark mode all the way. Dark mode, hardcore mode, printable character sheets, better GM tools, improve AI, and better performance. There's no estimate of time when these are going live, but that's new exciting features that, of course, everybody has been wanting for some time. And they're like, yes, give me all those Roll20 goodness and organizations. What do you all think? Anybody want to chime in on what you guys think of all these improvements?
No, I'm an avid Roll20 fan, so any improvements that they make for GMing, I am on board for. But I'm absolutely not surprised with the increase that they've encountered with the pandemic going on, and also a lot of their new programming, inspiring people to hop on. Yeah, it all makes sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just so great to see more people gaming. It's more games, more people playing games. 10 million people playing games on Roll20. That's just it's just stunning. That's awesome. It's like our type of games are becoming mainstream, and I just think that's really good.
I'm definitely one of the people that switched to online RPGs after our sort of in-group games couldn't continue anymore. And yeah, Roll20 was the first one we jumped onto because it was the most popular, I remember, of the TTRPG sort of simulators at the time when the pandemic was kind of just starting. And it was the easiest one to use at the time. A lot of stuff has become more popular since the start of the pandemic. But I mean, I think the fact that they got in there early and they sort of took care of their users for the most part up until now is probably a really big reason why a lot of people are, flocking to it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm even seeing people like sitting at a real table still utilizing some of the tools provided by Roll20. The compendium makes for a really snappy rule investigation, so you don't have to flip, at the table for 5 minutes. You can just kind of put in like, what is the rules for difficult terrain? It kind of pops up right there for you. So I think even beyond hopefully this pandemic ends soon. But even beyond, having to stay home, I think that this is going to be a great tool for the table when we can all play together, which is I think something that's really awesome.
I'm excited to see some of the GM tool changes that they come up with because I know that they've been struggling with the lighting for a while, like the dynamic lighting. If you use Roll20, you know that it was in beta for years, and when they finally rolled it out as like the full thing, it had a couple of bugs. So I'm curious to see if they're going to maybe start to improve some of the images, how you can use them as tokens if they add in new features for tokens and things like that. Because since I use it a lot, like I would love to see them add some extra content on there for sure.
Well, it solves one of the old questions of tabletop gaming is finding people to play with, or at least addresses that. It's when tabletop gaming was so much smaller, so much fewer of us, you might have only one or two options in your town for playing, D&D or whatever it is, and God forbid if you didn't get along with somebody there. It was just, it's just great. And also you have people who don't feel comfortable in groups or don't feel comfortable traveling or in larger groups, and so online gaming can be, a great place for someone who might not have other options. So it's really good.
All right. Yeah, no, there's just a lot of new exciting things coming to, of course, Roll20. I think, you know what? I heard that it may be getting a little wild and west out there. What do you think, Noir? Do you think it's getting like,
this is how we do transitions, right? This is how we do transitions. Okay, got it. I was asking earlier, how do we transition? Okay, yeah, here we go.
There you go.
Nicely done.
Oh, you're mute. There you go. You got your.
I give that transition 9 out of 10. So yes, it is getting darker and wild. Speaking of, Darker Hue Studios has inked a distribution deal with R. Talsorian. I pray I'm saying that correctly.
Or Talsorian.
Talsorian, thank you. You're a real one. Starting in March, our Talsorian will begin distributing Haunted West, the newest game from Harlem Unbound creator Chris Spivey. Haunted West is about hope through struggle. It is a game that amplifies the voices of the often overlooked people of the Wild West. The people who have been whitewashed by history, and by utilizing the Ouroboros system, a modular RPG rules engine, Haunted West is 799 pages that features an extensive historical account, from prehistoric times through the last stagecoach robbery. The Orvor system, a modular 3-tiered system powering your adventures using D100 dice. So we finally have a reason to use them. Degrees of success and a unique check mechanic. Haunted West reconstruction, an imaginative alternate history, robust Weird West content, including magics, creatures, mechanics, and more. The Knight of Aerostat, a thrilling adventure set in the Weird West, an in-depth city building process for creating the settlement you want. Life path character creation to build characters firmly entrenched in the world. 12 Paragon categories enabling you to create any type of player or player character you choose. And Haunted West is powered by the Apocalypse Hack. It's going to be available at an MSRP of $84.95. And just a side note, Roll20 does have an actual play right now featuring this system as part of their spotlight. I think it's really cool, and I'm excited to talk about it. So, you guys have any thoughts?
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited because I remember the other really popular Western like D&D, or not D&D, but like role-playing book that you could use was like Powered by the Apocalypse. I know we said it earlier. I can't really remember. The old, like that one was a fun Weird West kind of thing, but I think that one had a weird background story of like there was a stalemate between the South and the North, and there wasn't really a clear winner in that background setting. So this is going to be something interesting. And plus, hey, like it's cool to have all these various different cultures and ideas coming in, and you know and we're going to have all of the buckaroos and the buckaroos as the I think and all of the various different cowboys. So something about the West is just very, very fun, being dirty cowboys.
Yeah, I always have a soft spot for Westerns. I was raised on a farm in Idaho, and there's a lot of that in my blood. So I think it's also Powered by the Apocalypse. It always means good things from a game design point of view. And there's a life path character creation. I missed that sounds interesting. One of my favorite parts of Brain Wheel is the life path character creation. I always think creating your character is like the highlight of any RPG, actually. I mean, that is the best part of an RPG is creating the character. So cool.
But you should tell that to my players. Whenever they're making characters, they groan the entire time. I love making a character. I'm on your side, Peter. I love making a character creation.
Oh, it's magical. It's this magical moment. And it's like people say, hey, do we create our characters before the game? Or do we no, we're going to create them together. It's the best moment of the game. We got to do it. Okay, rant. I'm sorry. I went off on a rant.
Oh, no, it's cool. This is a game to really get excited for. And we could just wait until see more people, of course, do live plays. Maybe somebody maybe doing a live stream of this book, maybe when it comes out. I don't know. Just saying. Not hinting anything or anything like that. But I think this is I think you would agree, Noir, that this is a path that we're finding that we're gonna really enjoy. What do you think?
10 out of 10. Absolutely. It is quite the path that last discussion took us on. Speaking of path, Paizo announces a new setting book for Pathfinder 2E. I just have to preface this with I have become obsessed with Pathfinder, so just pardon me.
Really?
Yes. Oh my goodness, yes. So Toward the Inner Sea with Pathfinder 2E Lost Omens Travel Guide. Coming to retail stores late Q3, Pathfinder 2E Lost Omens Travel Guide promises to take fans on a journey through the scenic Inner Sea. This book is your companion to the culture, life, and sights of the Inner Sea, guiding you through a variety of topics of interest. With this book, you can learn about the Inner Sea cuisine and art, experience the thrills of the Inner Sea sports, and uncover the secrets of Inner Sea myth and magic. The travel guide features dozens of illustrations to show you the fine details of the latest fashions or put you into the center of one of the Inner Sea's greatest festivals. Come learn everything about the Inner Sea and prepare yourself for a journey through an unforgettable region with the Lost Omens Travel Guide. Pre-orders are expected September 21st, 2022, and will retail for $39.99. Like I said, I have become obsessed with Pathfinder, and it's their attention to detail that really gets me to fall in love with that system. So when they say that they're going to bring you into a culture and the sports and all the fine details, they mean it, and I'm so excited to get my hands on this and to just kind of create a brand new society for my players. But again, that's my thoughts. I want to know what you all think.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm also a big Pathfinder fan. That's kind of where I got my start, actually. And I know the transition to 2E was really fun because a lot of people were hoping to see some new content for Pathfinder, and this is just some more really cool stuff that people have to look forward to. I have a group of friends I know that are still playing like Pathfinder every single week, second edition. They just they love it. And it's exciting to see that they're still developing like the inner sea because that's just been a really popular setting, and they've just been like, kind of running with it. I'm wondering like when the new sort of setting is going to be after this because it's definitely like very involved already. They've built so much for it already. It's just it's kind of like a really wild ride to watch all the different stuff that they keep adding to it.
Mm-hmm. I think for me, I'm gonna theorize something since they did a very emphasis on like culture and life, and sea cuisine. You know how like recently Dungeons and Dragons just released a cookbook for themselves. I'm seeing Pathfinder coming in, competing, maybe getting some Southeast Asian flavors in there. Just saying. Get a cookbook, more D&D cookbook, Pathfinder cookbooks. Let's get it. Let's get it on. I don't know. What do you think, Peter?
I like the idea of cookbooks. I think that sounds great. Oh wait, we're talking about Pathfinder. Oh, no, let's go back. Cookbooks. Yeah, the Heroes Feast. Yeah, that was a great cookbook. My wife has cooked several dishes in there, and they're fantastic. And great. I'm glad and good. See more Pathfinder. Good.
We do have a question from chat. Do you think this sounds beginner friendly? If you were to getting into Pathfinder, I don't know. I feel like this might be a little bit.
So Pathfinder is one of those systems that does require a little bit of a commitment because there are rules for everything. But I tell people, if you can play a game like Magic the Gathering, then you can play Pathfinder. And I do think that this setting book is going to be useful because with all the options that you have with Pathfinder, building a world on top of that might be a little intimidating. So having a fully fleshed out society from their cuisine to their sports to, like maps, I think that'll be very useful for new GMs in the Pathfinder setting. So I do think that this is one that you might want to invest in.
And I think if you're familiar with D&D, Pathfinder is easy to get into. It's very similar to D&D, right?
Yeah, I think if you're going to get into Pathfinder at all, second edition is definitely the one to do it at. I mean, they've already done a little bit of streamlining the rules, but also this is going to be a travel guide, right? So this is actually going to be helping you learn about the inner sea. It's going to help you sort of like take you on a tour through the inner sea. It's all about learning. So I think it'd be great for beginners. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for answering that question. At least now we have the guide. So if we're getting into these waters, we won't hit into like storm wrecked areas or anything like that. Javion, right? You don't think we'll hit any storm wrecked?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, wait, you're talking about the next headline. Yeah, I agree. Totally. Yeah. So for all you RPG fans out there, all you D&D fans out there, there's a new starter set coming out for D&D. It's actually going to be coming in 2022. So it's supposed to be sort of a little bit more of a streamlined rule set. You're going to get a booklet and character sheets and possibly some extra stuff on top of that. I really hope there is going to be more stuff because if you've seen any of the other starter sets, the original starter set for D&D was $15. The Essentials kit was $20. And this one's going to be $49.99. So we were all kind of like trying to figure out why it's going to be so much pricier than earlier. I thought maybe they're going to add like extra content in it. I don't know. Peter?
I have a theory on this. So I was involved in publishing Dungeons and Dragons a long time ago, and one of the guys that I worked with, Ryan Dancy, who ran the Dungeons and Dragons team there, he once said that the problem with starter sets and beginner sets is that for Dungeons and Dragons, the most important component of the game is the Dungeon Master, and it's hard to put the Dungeon Master in the box. Well, I think Hasbro figured out how to do that. I think it's $49 because each game comes with a Dungeon Master.
Oh, okay, sure. Like a pop, like a little robot, like unfolds, like
you unfold, and there's a Dungeon Master pops up. The Dungeon Master runs the game for you. I mean, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Yeah,
that's certainly worth $50 for sure. An extra $30. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. This box seems to be Brennan Lee Mulligan size. What's going on?
Oh my god, I wish.
No, it was also people are saying that, hey, probably the cost is because production cost is up, shipping cost is up, everything is up because ta-da, the world is still recovering or is still going through a lot of stuff right now. But yeah, no, that's just some, honestly, I would pay so much money if they had like a Teddy Rexford like DM guide, like just like it comes with a little teddy bear that you could put a cassette. I don't know.
Oh my god, that'd be awesome.
Or maybe not a cassette. You could download like a Teddy Rexford, a downloadable one, and he could be like, "I am your dungeon master."
Maybe like a VHS tape, slip in your VCR. Yeah, totally.
There you go.
See, I wouldn't want that because like it's easy for me to disappoint a person, but I don't want to disappoint a teddy bear with my character.
Wow.
This adorable little teddy bear face palming itself to death.
There's
Teddy
not
Rowlbear. That's so close. Yeah, sorry, what were you saying, Javion?
No, I was just gonna say there's not a ton of information on this other than the title, Dragons of Stormwreck Isle. So we're seeing another dragon-themed one, but instead of it being in the Frost Winds, it's gonna be in the Stormwreck. So maybe some pirate-themed. I don't know. There's just not a lot of info. All we know is it's going to be part of its innovative play and entertainment lineup trailer. Sorry, it was already part of that trailer. So some of the other stuff that is coming along with. Other than that, I guess we're just free to speculate and try to hope that maybe some pretty art in there or something that's going to make it.
Oh, I'm glad you said something about entertainment because I heard, Javion, that from a little bird that you heard that something in the gaming world popped up on a little entertainment news.
Yes, Wingspan, the board game famous for its feature of lots of real life birds and teaching people about the different aspects of birds, whether it be their wingspan, literally, or like the types of eggs it lays or nests it lays, food it eats, things like that. Wingspan, super popular board game. Well, you can tell it's popular when it shows up on a TV show. Apparently, Wingspan, the rule book was being read by someone on Coronation Street. That's not a show I've seen before, so I don't really know much about it. But yeah, apparently it showed up on the episode on February 18th. So Elaine is one of the characters, apparently, said something about, I'm going to do my best Elaine impression without actually having seen the show, so, just based off of this picture. I think Tim was rather looking forward to playing a board game this afternoon. And the episode was titled Wingspan. So they baked it. This wasn't like an accident. This was something that pulled off the shelf. They were like, we love Wingspan. We're going to put this on our TV show. That's pretty cool. I'm glad we're seeing board games becoming more mainstream in media.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking. There's been an actor who's been on this show from 1960 to 2022.
Whoa!
Wow,
it's like Golden Girls levels. Like,
yeah, almost. I don't know why I thought British show Mary Berry from like the Great British Bake Off. Sorry, totally going off on this train. But yeah, no, that is actually surprising. And at least if they're going to feature a board game in TV, at least it's not Monopoly and they actually chose a quality board game to feature. Like, oh yes, they wanted to play Wingspan. I've heard about this game. Sorry, forgive us. Our British accents are terrible.
I'm not doing that because I respect my UK brothers and sisters.
Yeah, check out the article. We posted a link in chat if you want to see a clip from Elizabeth Hargrave's Twitter.
All right. Well, in any case, do you want a thing that you can spend ridiculous amount of money on because you want to brag fancy? Not gonna lie, I'm also a fan of Dune, but hey, you know what? Modiphius announces the Dune Adventures and Imperium Core Rulebook Imperial Edition. Just click on the link and look at this. This is gold-plated, gosh darn, like a sandworm on the cover in gold with leather binding. It is a fancy with the capital F on their book for you if you are a collector and love the Dune, basically Dune RPG, or not Dune RPG, but Dune Adventures. It is going to be of limited supply. There is going to be only 150 copies of this made. But prepare yourself. Do you want to hear that price range that we are looking for? Something that is going to be only 150 of them made with like really nice gold. It is a nice round price of $745 each. Yep. I mean, hey, if you love the book, you love it. I mean, recently there was a Dune book that was sold for 2.5 million euros, and if you know about it, you know about it, and I don't need to go into the details. Let's just say, yeah, so go ahead and check it out. I mean, it looks interesting, and if you like the show and you're dedicated to it, I mean, do you have any comments, anybody, on it? If you're a avid Dune person,
that book is almost my rent.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a spare fortune around here somewhere. Yeah, I might be able to.
That is a flex.
I mean, it's great to see people trying things like this, though. I mean, I think that it makes the hobby richer when people are trying interesting things, and so I mean, it's an interesting news story, right? It would be interesting to see what it looks like. I mean, I definitely want to see one of these books. I'm sure John Peterson will have one. I'll look at his.
Yeah.
It's such a flex. It's just like, you think you're a bigger Dune fan than me? Like, conversation over. I don't even play the game. Really, it's just that it's Dune and I got it.
Oh, you got a big magic collection? Here, try this.
It comes with its own certificate of authenticity from the El Artisano del Rey. Oh.
I mean, all for it. Honestly, if you were like Dune, all of the people who really wore and watched Dune during the past and grown up with it all have that income, you know? That's what you got to do with a lot of things. And when you start with children and they grow into the love of things, you know, you get real art down. So you know, right, Noir, when you start with the children and they grow up and, you know, they have that spendable income, you know, it seems right. Yeah.
I want to see how far this goes. No, I'm just kidding. Great segue. Speaking of children, Demiplane has announced a new show, Children of Earte. I really hope I'm saying that right, because it's being GM'd by the one and only Deborah Ann Woll, who has created a homebrew setting of her own design, heavily inspired by the idea of having players living in a fairy tale world. The cast includes Hope Lavelle, Alicia Marie, Lauren Irvin, Jennifer Gretschmer, and Adam Bradford of D&D Beyond fame. He created that, and now he's creating online platforms for other systems, including Pathfinder. I told you I'm obsessed with Pathfinder. Episode 0 will be airing on March 8th at 6 p.m. with a formal premiere on March 15th. During the announcement, Deborah teased some new interactive components for the streams, so viewers don't miss out on any of the fun. Again, the show is called Children of Earte. don't take my pronunciation as gospel. But I am excited for this. Deborah is one of the best GMs I've ever seen and one of my favorite actresses. Demi Plane has consistently put out amazing content, and the fact that this is being built from the ground up to be interactive with the audience is, I think, a pretty cool touch to it. So I'm very excited to see how this plays itself out. But that's my thoughts on it. What are yours?
Anything that has like the community already integrated with it is just a bonus on my book. That's all I'm gonna say. Got it. So we can torture the gamers. Yes.
I'm excited for the fairy tale setting, because fairy tales can be brutal and
so good.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to see what angle this show takes that setting.
Well, I have to admit, I wasn't familiar with Deborah Ann Woll, but Alicia Marie and Jennifer Kretschmer, I'm really excited to see them, and yes. Two excellent players in our community. That anyway, for that reason alone, I'll definitely check it out.
Heck yeah! I mean, they're always popping up everywhere. It's always fantastic every time that they play, because they make such uniquely different characters. Deborah, if you haven't had a chance to see, has done quite a few D&D streams. Also, she's of True Blood and Daredevil fame. If you check those two shows out, she's fantastic.
Yeah, I just didn't recognize the name. Like when I oh yeah, okay, I definitely seen her.
Honestly, I'm worried I'm pronouncing it wrong, because I'm always kind of shaky on the wall. I'm gonna get beat up by a famous actress.
Could be a new show on Twitch.
Just watch Noir get
beat up by famous actresses. Hey, no idea is a bad idea, right? I mean,
find it right here on Gen Con, baby.
Oh yeah.
Javion, do you have any thoughts?
Actually, not a whole lot. This is a pretty new franchise to me, but I hope it gives the fans, longtime fans, exactly what they're hoping for.
Heck yeah!
Good luck, you guys.
And you know what else? You know what else is fairly new?
Go ahead.
Masquerade. That is what's new. So let's go ahead. Thank you, Noir, for that. It gave me great jumping off point. But yeah, Paradox announces, I'm going to channel Derek and Isabella here, because they're the love for the vampires. They're all the oh no, I can't compare it to True Blood, because that's also bad. That's a vampire one, but that maybe they don't really care for True Blood. But basically, Paradox announced a multi-game World of Darkness partnership with Explore and the creators of Tableau. If you guys know Tableau, if you're not familiar with it, it's a very computer connective gaming board where your dice and your where you put your models, your figurines, everything is connected via a tablet or a gaming pad of some sort that you can digitally monitor through a computer program. So it allows for people to see based where people put their stuff. There's not much detail on it on the game itself, but it will be using track positions with RFID tags, records the value of rolls using smart dice, and then feeds that data automatically through the system. The only details that we have so far on it is the Milan Uprising itself will be included. Also hidden actions and interactive storytelling, secret goals inspired by vampire stories, and personal and political humors. So, hey, you know what? I really we have been seeing a rise on vampire, Masquerade, Vampire the Masquerade games. A lot of it, I remember playing, it's a lot of intrigue. And if you like those kind of games, this is something for you. And especially now it's kind of interesting merging the merging of the technology, especially with Tableau. What are your thoughts, everyone?
Well, I'm really excited to see if this works with the electronic, the RFID tags and all this sort of stuff like that. I think the idea of integrating electronics more into tabletop has a lot of potential. I mean, there have been some attempts at doing this that haven't always, nobody's quite found the killer app along this axis of development, but somebody's going to, and I think the world will change when that happens.
Yeah, I am excited for more Vampire wherever we can get it. That's one of those systems that like I've always loved, but I've only gotten to play like 3 times. But yeah, I agree completely with Peter in the sense that anything that takes math and the adding and all that stuff and makes it go away. Whoever does that first is going to win. It's a thing about accessibility and ease of play where I don't have to worry about the dice rolls. I just have to be the character. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, I honestly, it feels like, math is really the work of the devil. And, that dark soul, when you think about math, just puts you in a mood, right, Javion? Would you?
Yeah, speaking of Dark Souls, we've got some more details on the Dark Souls TTRPG. If you've been following along with the news about it, it's going to bring Dark Souls into the D&D, not setting, but rather mechanics. So D20 and 5e rules are going to be placed over like a comfy little blanket for Dark Souls. So yeah, it was announced last month, but we haven't really had much details until now. Steamforged provided some details by running the Polygon staff through a preview of the game, so they actually have like a working little beta. For the most part, the game's still going to be similar to 5e, but there will be notable differences, such as the base classes have been changed to be more consistent with Dark Souls. So there are going to be classes like the Deprived, the Knight, and the Pyromancer, which you normally wouldn't see because, well, I mean, unless you're playing a sorcerer, because, I mean, what is a sorcerer but a Pyromancer, right? The main combat mechanic of the game is going to have an addition called Position. So Position is going to be a player resource that you can spend to modify your attack and damage rolls, or give you additional movement. Some player powers rely on it, and actually, presumably, some more players will top off a little bit of position before each fight. But it's a resource that typically will dwindle down over time. Long rests, as you probably guessed, are going to be rationed a little bit more tightly. It's going to be a little bit more of a grind, I think. You can only rest when you find a bonfire, just like in the Dark Souls game. And these bonfires allow you to bank the souls, aka XP. You get it. It's going to be Dark Souls, but a TTRPG. It's going to be really cool. So 5e's initiative system, apparently, is also being simplified. So all the enemies are going to have a very fixed initiative. And then players just roll to see whether they act before or after the enemies. So I guess you're saving a little bit of time so that the enemies, the GM doesn't have to roll initiative for the enemies themselves. So it'll be a little bit easier to keep track of when people are going. You just slot the players in. And then finally, the bosses are going to be really, really easy. Just kidding. They're going to be really tough, just like in Dark Souls. They all have a special bloodied condition. So as soon as they go down to either half health or lower, it's going to change how they look. And of course, they're going to go into that second phase, the more powerful phase, until they get to the final phase where they just decimate you and leave you with that big screen that says you have died. Yeah, it looks like it's definitely going to be very similar to Dark Souls, the video. Yeah.
Very, very nice. Yeah, no, I'm excited about it, especially with the whole like timing mechanic where you can like spend points to stab a few times before you have to run away. I find that action of like basically spending points to take a stab and then take a 5-foot step back without getting shanked is great. Maybe that's just me.
I just want to know, what am I supposed to break since I don't have a controller in my hand? Because Dark Souls is the only game that ever made me break a controller. No, but I am looking forward to this. I'm looking. Yeah, I'm scared to play it, but I'm looking forward to it.
You'll have a character sheet. I'm sure you'll have plenty of those to run through because you're going to be making new ones all the time. You have some extra.
You imagine after the game, you just ripping up the characters.
I was really curious to see how they were going to try to turn something that is primarily action focused, real time, into something that's a little bit more turn based, like an RPG, like a TTRPG like this. And it looks like they're adding in mechanics to sort of bridge that gap.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then, you know what? I feel like with this game, we'll have heroes that really just stand out every day with this, What do you think, Peter?
Yeah, everyday heroes. Yeah, so I'm very excited to talk about everyday heroes. Although I want to make sure I dispel any illusions about this game that's coming up. When I heard the term everyday heroes, of course, I was thinking of like my barista. That was the first thing that came to mind. But no, this is basically a reboot. I don't know if that's fair, of D20 Modern. And some of you may remember D20 Modern. It was a very successful D20 series that was originally designed by Bill Slavicsek and Jeff Grubb, Charles Ryan, Rich Redmond. And it is being brought back because it's now 20 years later. So Modern has changed. Everybody has cell phones, is on social media, and so on. So Dave Scott has started up this company called Evil Genius Games. And they are going to take a run at this. And they've brought back some of the original designers, Jeff Grubb, but also Stan Brown, Michelle Carter, Steve Miller, and Chris Ramsley and Sig Trent are all going to be working on this game. And it's not going to be like your barista. No, it's going to basically follow adventures like you could imagine action movies and stuff like that. Anything that starts from the 1900s up till current or near future. So that could be Western, it could be noir, it could be zombie apocalypse, all that sort of stuff. They've got a full team in place. They're working on it. There's going to be a Kickstarter later on, I understand, hopefully. And it sounds like it's going to be really pretty cool. And I'm just really happy that Dave Scott's doing this. I've known Dave. David and I met back when he and I were both running startups. And I don't remember where we met, but we had that immediate bond of like, oh, we're both gamers and we're both running startups. And we even had a bigger bond later because both of our startups failed. And so we've got that going for us. But this one is going to be a hit, Dave. I'm sure it's going to be great.
I remember playing D20 Modern back in the day. That was actually really fun. I can't remember all the very fun hijinks that we went because it was like, yeah, it's like our world, but we don't have any we have beepers and stuff. I just remember having a fun time with it.
I don't know. I heard D20 Modern. And I just thought, oh, okay, so they're gonna have like guns. Okay, so it's like it's not fantasy. They move past primitive technology into like modern technology.
Well, I understand, Noir, you might have some inside scoop on this.
Yeah. Do you, Noir? You want to tell us?
Full transparency, I am on the Evil Genius production team. I am extraordinarily excited about this. I've gotten a chance to take a look behind the scenes. And essentially, with Everyday Heroes, we're giving you the tools to create or recreate all of your favorite tropes, all of your favorite cinematic moments. You've got, following in the tradition of the D20 Modern system of old, we've got like your smart hero, your dedicated hero, tough hero, charismatic hero. And then we've got some interesting functionality with subclasses. So you can get a little bit more particular with that. So if you want to be the man of the van, or if you want to be your John Wick type of gun kata kung fu type character, we give you the tools to do that. We've got a new wealth system because obviously when you're playing, Dungeons and Dragons, you get money from adventuring. But in this, well, you've got to get money in more, let's say, interesting ways. So we're completely revamping the D20 Modern setting, using it as inspiration, not duplicating it, and it's really just going to be something quite amazing to check out. But again,
it seems like it'd be a good licensing vehicle.
You might want to keep an eye on our Kickstarter. We've got some interesting things. We got some pretty interesting things lined up. I'm just saying,
you should. It seems like it'd be good for that sort of thing.
I can't say too much, but I will say that there have been some.
Just play it safe and agree.
There's been some licenses thrown around that made me cry. I'm like, no way. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well,
sorry, David. I said I wouldn't say that, and I did.
Oh man. So we have exciting things coming. We'll just have to keep an eye. So that seems like most definitely we'll be featuring that when the Kickstarter goes live, and then we can all simultaneously geek out. But I want to see in chat, what are your IPs that you would dream IPs to bring to do it? Just throw it out there. It's always good to see them. Now I will go ahead. That was our last main news of the day, but it's okay. Speaking of Kickstarters, I will summon the Kickstarter region to grace us with our presence. Javion, representing that of the Javion clan, please state your case of what Kickstarter you would like to bring up to us.
I would be most happy to, Banzai. Thank you, my liege. So the Kickstarter I have brought for y'all today is Tang Garden Seasons. Tang Garden Seasons is going to be the final expansion for Tang Garden before they move on to their next ventures. Tang Garden is a board game that is centered around the theme of Zen gardens. I don't know if you've ever seen things like this, but you'll typically see things like pools filled with koi fish, or landscapes, or portraits, or whatever you call them. You paint portraits on the wall. What are those?
Murals?
Murals. There you go. Yes, murals. Beautiful murals.
I feel like I just won Wordle.
exciting views from the gazebos and bonsai trees. So it's a really, really relaxing kind of board game where you're taking turns, very methodically and strategically placing your characters in different places, or placing new tiles down. Basically, the whole game is about making your garden beautiful. And that is like such a brilliant board game design idea. And they didn't slack on any of these board game components. You got metal coins, you've got all these different standees, and all of the beautiful, oh my gosh, the art. You have to take a look at this art. It's so good. I remember the first time I played this, and the setup, the long kind of setup time was worth it, because we were just having a blast, and I don't even remember who won, because we were just having so much fun, just taking pictures when we were done with the board game of how pretty everything was. So the final expansion, Seasons, is going to be focused on, the 4 seasons, summer, spring, fall, and winter. So it's going to be the final expansion. They crafted different rich scenarios by getting inspiration from the mechanisms we love most in board games that will completely change the way you create your beautiful garden in this game. So they've got new tiles, decorations, panoramas. That's the word I was looking for. Also, mural works great, but panoramas in this game is what they call it. Visitors, boards, and new components that you've never seen before. Check it out. Tang Garden Seasons. You can get the entire collection, where you get all of the expansions, the base game, the upgraded components, all of the stretch goals. It's really cool. They have a cute little flowchart in case you already own some Tang Garden stuff. And they still got 19 days to go, so plenty of time for you to hop in before it's too late. You got till March 17th.
Very, very nice. And now I shall take the seed with my little wand, because it's very commanding. I'm going to be talking about trekking through history. It's going to be ending very, very soon. So if this sounds like a game for you, because it is ending February 27th. So that's in 2 more days. Sunday, February 27th. Sorry. It's a 2 to 4 player educational set collection game where you are a person like in some utopian future. And instead of going to school, you travel through history to learn about historical figures. This one, the play takes place in a course of 3 days, aka 3 rounds, made of 12 hours. The players spend those hours traveling through history and experiencing remarkable moments, like painting with Leonardo da Vinci, flying with the Wright brothers. Really cool thing about it is like a lot of people, if it's a history game, it's only going to be from a European centric history. No, it is not. They got figures of Gandhi. They got Chinese philosophers. They have Islamic people as well. So it's a whole like slew of historical people through world history. Each of these experiences when you're talking to all of these various different figures and historical moments, each of them awards different kinds of experiences, and you must collect the right kind of experiences to fulfill your objectives in your itinerary to collect victory points. The players have to keep their time traveling experience in proper chronological order, though, so you can't just hop from you can't just go from like the Wright brothers to the Aztec nation or development. You have to go in order. So if you want to go ahead and visit all of those like BCE areas and see how the pyramids are made, you would have to go to those sites first before you do anything in modern steam engine based industries. It looks like it's truly an all ages game for it. And the art, oh my gosh, it is so pretty. This is the kind of educational board game that I wish I had growing up, because then I would see all these figures and I'd see all these settings. It's a very beautiful world, kind of like a brief telling of world history, especially if you're playing it with a lot of youth. They'll learn about these people and then start researching more about who they liked or saw in the board game. And it's just, and also I believe it is Kickstarter loved approved, so that gives an extra stamp of quality on there if you are into that. So yeah, trekking through history, go check it out.
Nice. Well, my Kickstarter that I'm going to talk about, in fact, I raised my hand really quickly when the Kickstarters, Marcus posts and creates this list. I'm like, I want to do that one. I want to do that one. Cthulhu Awakens. This is a Kickstarter from Green Ronin. And there's just a lot of things to love about this. First of all, I love Green Ronin. It's a great company. I love the Chris and Nicole, the owners of the company, and the staff of Green Ronin. So I know they put a lot of heart into their projects. And Cthulhu, duh. So I had to call Chris and ask him to give me some of the inside scoop on this. And so he explained what they really wanted to do was to do their own take, the Green Ronin take on the Cthulhuan mythos, and to not assume that all the stuff that's happened since the original H.P. Lovecraft books were written, that a lot of that stuff is not public domain. It's just the original writings that are public domain. And so just, they did a lot of research to kind of disentangle some of the stuff that's come later from the original source material. And then just working from that, imagine what the world might be like and grow it that way. So it also covers the whole period of time from 1920 to now, the weird century. And so you can play in any of those times, and there's guidelines on how to play campaigns at different points of time in the last century. And you could even do something like, my first idea was like, well, I think it'd be kind of cool to do a series of maybe one-shots or mini campaigns, each one, like a decade or two apart, where maybe some of the events that happen in one game, end up influencing things down the line. One of the things that they worked with is the idea of the corridor, which is how you might travel and visit alien cities and alien worlds. And one of their stretch goals has to do with developing these alien worlds. And so now here's something really kind of creepy, like in a cool way. The Yithians, which are aliens that invade our bodies, kind of like, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So this is kind of the Cthulian version of that. The Yithians are aliens from other worlds who possess humans and do things to their own crazy sorts of desires. And well, when you travel to an alien world, from their perspective, you are the Yithian. Like, woo. So I was like, that got a shiver going up and down my spine when I read about that. So anyway, I think this Kickstarter is new. It just launched. It's going through March 23rd, so there's plenty of time to get in on it, and it's already doing well. So all right, I chipped in. You should chip.
I suppose that brings it over to my Kickstarter, which the second I read what this was about, I just wanted to write it out in all caps, but I'm not going to talk to you like that. This is Epic Legacy Tome of Titans. What is this about? Well, if you're like me, 20 levels isn't enough. And so the Epic Legacy series is all about your character going all the way to level 30 with world-shattering spells and monsters that are just ridiculous. So if you've ever wanted to punch a deity in the face, this is the book for you. The creatures within this tome are far more than a collection of formidable stat blocks for high-level play. There are more than 20 creatures of myth, both iconic and original, inserting a diverse array of monstrous experiences. You can face on the first Medusa, which is a haunting experience. You can deal with other entities that have higher than level 20 abilities. So it's going to take a lot of tactics. It's going to take a lot of smarts and a lot of teamwork. The art in this book is mind-blowing. You are facing titans, you're facing monsters from every sort of mythology that you could think of. And again, you're punching deities in the face. And if that's not what TTRPGs are about, I really don't know what is. This Kickstarter is going all the way until March 20th. Really, I really don't know how to sell it other than you can punch a sphinx in the face with a Medusa. Buy it.
You're so violent. Just punch all these deities.
Listen. We have been dealing with the level 20 cap for too long. And this lets us kick the door down all the way to level 30 and just do things that are ridiculous.
Yeah.
You thought Fireball was a problem at level 20? Look and see what a level 30 Fireball does. You would answer not great things to anybody in the vicinity.
Oh, Noir, you are speaking words of romance. As a child of the 70s, D&D, this is the way we played back in high school. I mean, we played way past 20th level.
When you look at a max level Fireball in this book, the question is, how many dice do you roll? The answer is all of them.
All of them. Yes.
Take that stack of D6s and just throw them on the table. Explode.
I'm so glad that Power Gaming is alive and well. That's that.
Well, so
level 30 device fight. Let's go.
No, you're good. We're ending on happy notes of total destruction being ridiculous. Like we can punch a nuclear bomb and still walk away with it. But yeah, no, if those imageries of Titans come to your mind and make you happy, well, guess what? We are, like Peter was saying, we are back for Gen Con TV. Slowly, we're going to be announcing more and more shows and more things that you can catch here live on this channel. So if you haven't, why didn't you hit that like button? Also, hey, did you know we also have a YouTube? We are good. There's going to be some really spiffy changes going on. And if you're looking forward to this week watching some of those shows, one people that we can announce that are live is going to be Mondays, starting February 28th at 4 p.m. Keep in mind, these are all specific standard times. Board games with the Brothers Murph. Join brothers Nick and Mike as they play. Wait. Oh wait, hold on. Why is my brain? Am I brain farting?
Mike and Nick, they're gonna be playing games, and they do a lot in chat. There you go.
Yeah. But
Something
what,
like
they're
that.
playing a specific Cascadia.
They're playing Cascadia. Yes.
Cascadia. Okay, I
Cascadia.
did not know why I had a brain fog and I just could not read that word.
Yes.
Also, but yeah, and Friday, of course, you have all of our lovely faces giving you the news that you want in tabletop board game industry, and maybe some stuff you can look forward to in Kickstarter and other places, because we may be going through itch as well to give you some news. But yeah, no, thank you guys, everyone who's watching currently on Gen Con TV. Also, for those watching us on YouTube and or Facebook, however you're going to view that, or TikTok, there's a lot of platforms out there now. Also, thank you, Noir, thank you, Javion, and thank you, Peter, for joining us and talking with us today.
Thank you for making me feel welcome.
Yeah, of course. Yay, everybody. We're back. We're back. We're back. Okay, but yes, no, don't forget, hey, yeah, follow us on all the various different social medias. We are Gen Con TV. It's good to be back. You guys have a good weekend. Stay safe and as calm as you can be in these stressful times. And I hope you'll have a good one. Peace out. Bye, friends.
Bye.